recording on. Hi everyone, Coach Katya here with Body Strong Vibes. Welcome to, I guess, the first tester live session on the Kajabi platform that I've been using. And this is a live monthly call that we will be doing if you're part of the membership. If you have access to Body Strong Fit membership, this is what you get. So this will be one of the cool things that is coming online finally after a lot of different projects that I've been working this year 2023. So what we're doing today, and I have a lot of content and just kind of launched that one in. Next time this will be scheduled. It's been scheduled. We'll just go. You receive emails. So please subscribe if you do. If you want to share with anybody else, you do have a 15-day trial to Body Strong Vibes membership of $111 a year, one-time payment. But you have 15-day free trial. So if you know anybody who's interested to hop on this live calls every Friday, the last Friday of the month, they can hop in, try it out, see how they feel about it. Then get to commit for 1 year. Maybe this is something that they really need at that point. If not, just be my guest, hop on the live, learn some new things, learn some things about me, what I do, what I coach, what's my style, and this is maybe the best thing that you get. Maybe this is something that you needed. So what are we talking about today? If you've seen, for the last week, I've been talking about victim archetype. Victim archetype, it's not only a psychological definition that is just so pertinent to our lifestyle, but it's also something that spills out in our fitness and health. And I specifically talk about how and what impact it has over our fitness and health. And believe me, myself, I can completely identify in every of these specific statements and signs that we're going through. So this is typically defined as a victim archetype that has its own traits, has its own behaviors, and why we keep doing this and why we limit ourselves and things that we say to ourselves that limit ourselves and also impact our fitness and health. So I invite you to maybe decide in April, maybe or not, but that's your decision, ready to stop being a victim. Stop being victim and telling yourself that storyline, being controlled by that storyline of victimhood. And today, what we'll do, we'll recognize those signs, talk about it. Then we'll quickly switch to tools, resources, how you can shift that. And as you shift yourselves, also you get a take responsibility guide. And take responsibility guide is a simple 4-page guide. What it does, it is like a reminder for you to go back anytime you recognize, you catch yourself in doing any of the 4 signs that we're talking about, and rewiring your brain, moving from that victim archetype, victim behaviors, to empowerment. Instead of disempowering yourself, moving to empowerment. What do you choose to take responsibility? How you work towards the best version of yourself in fitness and health. So let's talk about it. 4 signs that you are stuck in fitness and that victim conditioning. And hopefully this will work for me to move the presentation, so bear with me. So what do we have? The 4 signs, and this is simple. This is from reputable sources, psychologists. They talk about different traits of what victim archetype is. So there are a couple of them. They're kind of mishmash right now, but that's fine. First of all, and most of it is you feel no energy. You have no energy. You always feel drained, and you are in the blame mode. You blame everybody around you for something, or you blame yourself. And believe me, we all been there, myself included, blaming myself for things that I've done and kind of keeping myself in that cycle. Another sign is you feel constant need to distract yourself. Oh my God, us females, we are like the masters con artists of distraction. Instead of focusing on the fitness, focusing on our health, we distract ourselves by taking care of others, children, spouse, partner, family, immediate family, best friends. We just keep doing this. We go in a cycle of selfless giving instead of taking time for ourselves, creating that non-negotiable time where we set the schedule for ourselves, for our fitness and health. And we always do that. Why? Because possibly we just want to be distracted because we really don't want to do that work because it takes time. and it takes commitment. So that's one of the signs. And we go into, you have a strong draw towards addictive behavior. So if you watch my social media this week, a couple videos out there towards addictive behaviors, and I talked about the biggest addiction that our society has today. Unfortunately, this is so real, including myself. I do have it. We all do. It is a real addiction. It's how you decide to control it, how you're aware of it, and how you can create a moderation and a healthy relationship with that addiction. And the biggest addiction I want to talk about is sugar. We're addicted to sugar drinks, we're addicted to sweets, and we are just addicted to sugar because sugar gives us energy. It makes us feel good because it gives us that spike of adrenaline and cortisol. And our brain gets addicted to sugar because it transforms very easily in glycerin and those high triglycerides. And what it does, that's what it feeds our brain, and our brain gets rewired and just craves that addiction. And it's a very real addiction that not only we adults have it, our children do. And what can we do to really overcome it? Really, I did the study of myself. I love sweets, and specific sweets that I like is pastries. I'm addicted to pastries. This is my downfall, and I need to choose every time I want to have a pastry, what time of the day I do, if I do, and what kind of pastry I get, and the quantity. And the quantity is the key. And what I combine the pastry with, because that will reduce my glycemic level. So I'll have less spike in my insulin, less spike in my cortisol level, because I balance it out with something that has the low glycemic level. So those are the things that I educated myself as I'm aware of my addiction, and I recognize that, and what I can do steps to overcome it. And every time I have the urge, I take a deep breath, step back. Okay, is this really what I need now? Am I hungry? Why I'm doing it? What is the reason behind? Am I highly stressed? Am I highly emotional that I'm coping with something? And we are all dealing with some emotions and feelings that we keep bundled in our body. And sometimes we just create this vicious pattern. And, and as a personal detox, when I went through my own experiment of kind of rewinding myself from sugar, it takes, and if you check the studies, it takes about 14 days to get off sugar. If you heard about it, you have sugar headaches. If you really are taking a lot of sugar, as you're trying to wind down from sugar, you will have sugar headaches. It's real. It's a side effect because, like I said, our brain gets addicted to that specific substance. So anyways, just dive deep into it. Is that something that you want to research? It's a lot of science behind it, a lot of data, but this is one of the biggest addictive behavior that we have that actually impacts our fitness, because not only we get a lot of sugar, spikes everything else, but also spikes our insulin, so we tend to eat more. Also, it's not really beneficial for us in long term. And we tend to have those sugar crushes. And sometimes when you have those before your fitness or after your fitness, you'll have those sugar crashes, and you'll just be in a different kind of mode dependent of that specific intake. So going into the last and not least, you feel like you're complaining awful while being angry, shameful, guilty, and depressed. Oh my God, this has been my story. It's been my story through my cancer, before my cancer, I'm a cancer survivor, and I've always done it, and I was aware of it or not. I was most of the time very frustrated with myself because I looked different. I felt different about myself, and I really wanted to be the best version of myself. So frustrated. I was angry with myself because I knew I could do so many other things, but I was not in the right mindset. Even if I set up a plan, a fitness plan, I was like, okay, I'm ready to tackle this one out. I know what I want to do. I have the resources. I have the equipment. I have the environment. Something was always disconnected. What was disconnected that it took me a long time to realize? It was my mind with my heart. And it was that disconnection between body and mind. My body possibly was ready. My mind was still resisting was not accepting the person that I'm trying to become. And I was frustrated because I always was focused on results instead of improving the process, practicing, trusting the process. And that is my story. And that is the story of all the clients that I work with, and how we overcome those setbacks, how we realize, hey, yes, I recognize I'm angry at myself. I recognize that I'm frustrated with myself, and that is normal. How you accept that status quo, how you realize when you do a fitness routine at the beginning, it will take time for your body to assimilate, work, learn how to do a movement, to perfect all that. And we get frustrated ourselves because we want just immediately to know, immediately to have results, immediately of everything. And that is just goes back to the reality that we live right now, that we are just always constantly delivering those deliverables that just stick around with us. And we lose the track of actually connecting our body with our mind. And when I'm talking about connection, it's really the breath that helps you, breathing while you're executing the fitness routine, and really creating that mindset of like easing yourself into as the mind tells the story to the body of what to do. And there's not disconnect between body and mind. Okay, so those are the signs, and simple. They're fairly simple, but we all are recognizes ourselves in any stages of those signs. Again, sometimes you have control over it, sometimes you don't. The idea and the goal is to take responsibility when you recognize them, and what you do, what kind of grounded action you do for yourself, and are you ready to shift instead of doing a quick, and it goes back to the same thing. You get in the mindset, you roll into it, but really creating that sustainable over time. Just keep working on it. And what do we do here? Value that you join this call. You have all that amazing stuff. You're connecting with me, connecting with my story, with all the expertise and knowledge that I have. I'm a strength training coach. I am a TRX certified coach trainer, so I have that certification. I do recovery coaching, fitness coaching. I had several continuing education and certification on rehab and post-surgery recovery myself. My story, I had clients who had double knee surgery. I had clients who had sciatica. I had clients who had shoulder replacement. They all had the same story. I have been acting a long time ago, and now I'm trying to get back into it. And that's really important, to recognize the signs, to see how you can push yourself through and really trust the process and really work on executing it. I do a custom tailor approach, and because I really try to empower the clients, I'm trying to educate the client, and educate to empower them to feel confident to work towards their own fitness, to work towards their health, because we've got to be empowered. We've got to be confident to take care of ourselves, our own fitness and health. We don't need to always rely on outside resources. Not that you don't need it, you still have access to it, but how you can do most of the work yourself. And this is the goal that I have. And that's why my device is building the body from the ground up, Body Strong Vibes. I really build the body from the ground up. And from the perspective of strength training, is building the muscle, recognizing how muscle works, what's the angle that works for you, what's your biomechanics, how you move, how that move impacts your well-being, and how you progress into it. So anyway, segueing to that, steps to release victim archetype and behavior. So we recognize the statements, we recognize the signs. There are a lot of sentences attached to it that you always know that you are kind of slip yourself into victim behavior, victim mentality, victim conditioning, and of course, an umbrella of victim archetype is I can't, I don't have time. It's very classic. I can't. When you say I can't, you disempower yourself. That means your brain is telling your body you are not able to do that. So I want you to learn to eliminate that and say, hey, I can, because you can, and working towards believing that you can do that action. I don't have time. So typical. I don't have time in anything else. If you really want to have time, you want to have time in your fitness and health. As you age, you want to improve your quality of life. You got to find time. Is it 10 minutes? Is it 15? Is it 20? Is it daily? Is it twice a week? Is it 3 times a week? That is solely your decision because you are in charge and in control of your own health and fitness. That's how empowering it is. It's not me offering you the magic formula of like, hey, you got to work out 4 times a week because I'm giving you a formula. I was like, hey, I make you to work out 4 times a week. Is that really helping you? Because you're not empowered by yourself. You're just getting this template that you're just trying to mimic, but that connection between body and mind is really not happening. But giving you a choice, and this is where I don't have time, I choose to, and that choice is what that empowerment, that take responsibility attitude, that practical attitude toward your fitness and health is very, very important. So, 4 steps to release the victim archetype behavior. Stop negative self-talk, and that goes back to that complaining and blaming most time of yourself, and really recognizing those negative traits that you have that you really keep yourself in that victim behavior. Set one real fit goal for the next 30 days. And why I talk 30 days? Talking about process and trust. You visualize yourself on who you want to become in 1 year, in 2 years, in 3 years, whatever that visualization is for you. And when you think about that, you see yourself that person who you want to become. But still, you are realistically building a uh, very easy, simple way of achieving that goal. And I believe in 30 days. 30 days does magic for us because it's a month. So you can ahead before the end of the month, and today is the end of the month, how you see your next month for your fitness and health. Do you have any doctor's appointments that you need to attend? Do you want to attend any, I don't know, health coaching groups? Whatever you do, whatever you are in need to. Are you doing any yoga classes? Are you doing any fitness classes in general with friends that you love? Do you have your own fitness routine? And fitness routine means how much movement you do a day. You know, you need to do about per research, per typical recommendations from the World Health Association, you have about 150 minutes of walking a week. That's what the minimum is recommendation. You wanted to have a fitness routine between 2 and 3 times a week. And this is just basic recommendations. If you follow those, you'll be way, way too ahead. So set one real fit goal. So when I said set one real goal, hey, I want to walk more for 30 days. Hey, I want to work out at least once a week and I'm sticking to it, is the same day. Yes, if something happens, it can adjust. But really setting that schedule ahead, if things happen, you can always adjust, but having that in your visually set, then in your mind has less tendency to create those mind blocks. Okay. Step 3, 21-day mirror exercise. I am beautiful. That goes for the man. I'm handsome. I am I am amazing. I deserve it. I am enough. Using those affirmations because you tell your brain to connect with your body because your mind starts accepting your body the way it is now. And you are beautiful the way you are now. What you're working on is to improve your fitness and your health because you want to have a longevity. You want to have a beautiful quality of life later in life. And this is very, very important. So again, that goes back to the negative self-talk. So we're shifting that by empowering ourselves, by using the 21-day mirror exercise. And really what I do this for the last 3 years, believe me. Every morning when I brush my teeth, finish brushing my teeth, put my toothbrush down, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm using my affirmation. I'm beautiful, I am deserving, I'm successful, and I'm strong. And I am strong been with me for the last 8 years because without telling myself in front of my mirror that I am strong, I will never be here where I am today, going through everything what I want to. Even when I said I'm strong in front of the mirror and I was crying, like tears were coming down, I kept repeating that 3 times. I am strong because that gave me a lot of strength to connect with my body and overcome uh, my own health issues. So that is just sharing a personal and why we are always and why you hear 21 days. It's amazing. 21 days has been circulating around because it takes 21 days for your brain to assimilate and create the new habit. So this ultimately, as it's a practice, becomes a new habit that is part of your daily routine. So that's why 21 days are really important for you to cycle that, especially for any mental new habits. And Last one and not least, releasing self-sabotaging behavior. Yes, try to write them down. The power of writing down is insane because when you write down, you take accountability for yourself. You are responsible. You are taking responsibility for yourself. It's like writing contract. Not only you sign those contracts, your employment contract, your legal contract for work, real estate, any other contract. This is your contract that you do with yourself. So writing down those self-sabotaging behaviors is the contract with you. You write down the self-sabotaging behavior that you have, at least 3 of them. Hey, how I overcome, what's the action that I take towards it? Maybe not every day I will accomplish this, but the fact that I keep writing them down, I'm putting them in front of me. So I'm more and more aware when they resurface. So let's say I was very upset this weekend. It's my personal story. I was very upset over this weekend. I found out my dad was in the emergency room. He had a high blood pressure. He's overseas. I have no contact with him because of the difference of time, 7 hour plus. I was way overworked. I finished a lot of studying trainings last week. I had a major thing that I needed to take care of my son. He had his swim meets, and I was super exhausted, super stressed on Saturday. Stressed instead of that, I was thinking about worrying about my father. He was overseas. My son was in his competitive mode. He was dealing with us, and I need to be support for all of that. So I had moments when I was like, okay, I'm just so, this is way too much for me, what I can do with it. And I know what grounded actions I need to take. But I had a moment where I was like, okay, I just will go and buy one thing that I really love. And I love dark chocolate. I used to love a lot of ice cream. I stopped doing that. I'm better with that. And it's like what I can do. And I jump in the heart. It's like, hey, I'm going to a bakery. I'm getting myself dark chocolate. I'm getting this cinnamon swirl. I love cinnamon, and I love cinnamon swirl pastries. That's what I'm getting for myself. And I got to the bakery, and I was like, okay, I want to get this. And I had a moment. I took a deep breath. Like, why I'm doing this? You know where you're going with this because you've been done this before. Because I already wrote down and not only told myself, I wrote it down so I could see it. Hey, you have tendency to do this. And I stopped myself and it was there. I was like, okay, I'll get only this. It was a vegan muffin. I had a little bit of cinnamon in it. It's like, I'll get only this. I'll not eat any other chocolate and I will enjoy this with my coffee. And that's the biggest transformation that I did that weekend because again, I released that self-sabotaging behavior by actually taking control over it and empowering myself, saying, hey, I'm fully equipped. I can deal with this now because I can. And that's just my personal story. Things out, my dad is fine. He's doing better. He's at home. My son did very well his swim meets. He actually made the finals and did a very good time, and he's moving up into his competitive track. So, things that are getting well is how you react to it and how you deal with your own stress level, and that's very important. So from there is we are moving next into don't be a victim. Like we said, take responsibility. Hopefully the rest of us is there. How for your own fitness and health, how to get back on track. And this is and how I can help you. So I created a take responsibility guide, as you have seen, been part of my network, the Balance Guide 2023. This is the victim archetype. How to stop it? Unhealthy habits, the healthy habits. There's no right answer. That's what I want to tell you. There's no right answer. I can say it depends. So you have it here, empower your health and fitness instead of self-sabotaging or not taking responsibility for it. So this is your take responsibility. So a couple resources you have here, that self-inquiry, writing down. Very important. You want to start a fitness and health diary for yourself. Oh my God, will change your life. But that's when you're ready. I had people have been talking about it for a year and they finally started, and I'm so happy for them. Proud, coach. Sometimes you do it and you get off of it. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing. That is you connecting your body and mind, then really activating your heart space. So do I recognize the signs of my victim mentality? And I shared some with you, my personal ones. Am I promoting my self-sabotaging behavior physically, emotionally, and mentally? Give yourself examples. And you actually have this. This is an exercise that you can do a week, You don't want to do it daily, you can do it weekly, you can do a monthly check-in. That is your self-inquiry. You are in charge of your fitness and your health. This is where I want you to get in that mindset, because we are building here your body from the ground up, and this is when you take charge of it. And last, like I said, there's three questions. The last one is, while you're standing in front of your mirror, let's find 3 things that you empower yourself positively daily. And that goes back to that 21 days. If you want to continue that exercise, if you really feel good when you're doing that, amazing. I'm successful. I'm strong. I am powerful. I'm safe. I'm enough. I'm deserving. Whatever that is for you, make sure it has a physical aspect, make sure it has a mental aspect, make sure it has an emotional aspect. You want to touch bases of all those aspects, because they need to communicate with themselves to align and to really create that alignment and that best version of yourself. So that's one. Get to know the victim type, and we talked about it. So you have those 4 types, and you also have physical, mental, and aspect, what they are. So recognizing those. You have, why is victim mentality important, and why it keeps us stuck. So you have that, recognizing your victim mentality patterns can improve your physical health and protect your mental health. And that is definitely the goal that we want to accomplish. Release victim practice for your mind. So talk about the mind aspect. What can you do? Couple tools here. And release victim practice for your body. What can you do? Couple things there too. Not that you want to follow them, find one that really worked with you and really accomplish that for 30 days. Remember that one goal. And what can I do? And this is the question, what can I do today 1% better than yesterday? Always works. And remember, you heard this, I'm sure you heard this live. I did today 1% better than yesterday. Exactly. That is the baby step mindset that you should have. That is a healthy mindset, to trust the process and become the best version of yourself, specifically in your fitness and in your health. And that's it. Release victim practice for your body and mind. And this is exactly what I want to share with you. That is all. Hopefully you did see it. Sorry, I kind of was scrolling through it. And if you have any questions, go ahead. Otherwise, it's my pleasure to share this knowledge with you, to get to know you, and to understand that as we're moving through it in April, we're moving from recognizing what that victim mentality is, what are the signs, what are the behaviors, and taking full responsibility for it. And we're moving towards the empowerment, why we're taking a practical attitude and grounded action towards our fitness and our health. What that is, sticking up to whatever fitness routine you want. Do you want to walk more? Do you want to bike more? Do you want to swim more? Do you want to hike more? Whatever that is for you, whatever really, really you wanted to do and learn and be good at, that's what you should go with. You want to go with something that is a no-brainer, because you don't want to have that resistance from your mind as you're doing that body practice. And again, we always focus on body work, mind work, and spiritual work, really connecting the dots, because what that is, it just creates that awesome flow, and we don't have no resistance. So this is the call that I intended to share with you on the topic of don't be a victim, take your responsibility for your fitness and health. If you have any questions, let me know. Hopefully, we'll definitely have more people next time, but the replay will create a lot of questions. I'm here about ask me away for any practical tips. If I have them, I will give it to you. Most of the time will be depends, because every situation is unique, but there are always ways to overcome any of the victim behavior, victim conditioning, and overall shift your victim mentality and move towards hero journey. And that's very important. So thank you so much, Coach Katya here. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, check any other awesome resources, and hope to see you soon. Bye.
Thank you.